welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. Are you freaking kidding me?
It's a little better than your normal throws.
Oh my God! You guys are clowns. Give me. Anyway, welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters still right here. I am Mike Galetta, aka Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian the Ranger Retard, with another fantabulous Fan Friday for you. Today we reach out to all our viewers from the Sports Box and answer your questions for us. Brian, let's start.
First of all, thanks everybody. We got an overwhelming amount of questions this week to answer, so thank you guys for sending your information in.
Beautiful.
First question comes to us from Anthony in Waterford. Who do you guys feel are the best buy low candidates? Well, that's a kind of a loaded question now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to say, first off, DeAndre Washington, the Raiders. I mean, here's a guy who is taking over for Murray. I think he's had a lot of upside this week. A lot of upside. As for guys that play for the teams, I mean, what in your opinion, what do you think? There's a lot out there.
I think for me, if you're looking for a buy low candidate, you're looking for somebody whose value has come down, or at least in the minds of who owns them.
Yep.
So for me, I think you look at the high profile receivers that were early picks in drafts that owners might be frustrated with. Think of guys like, again, Odell Beckham, DeAndre Hopkins, even a guy like Des Bryant. You know, these are guys who have not really performed from a fantasy perspective as people who drafted them thought that they would. But the talent's really still there. Of that group, I think I'd be most concerned about Hopkins. It's honestly more a shot at Osweiler more than anything. But even a guy like Odell Beckham, did you know that Odell Beckham right now, compared to where he was last year, it's 4 yards off the pace? Wow. And the numbers that you've seen him put up from a fantasy perspective wouldn't really indicate that haven't been touchdowns. But the whole Giants offense hasn't really scored a lot of touchdowns either. So I think that's going to come. I think if you can find an owner who's frustrated with a high-profile guy, it might be worth your time to take a look.
You could look at even Allen Hurns of Jacksonville, who's off to a slow start. Tell you, even Des Bryant, that name, I mean, here's a guy who's going to be hurt. He's been hurt for a while. Alshon Jeffrey is probably a good one, too. A lot of guys out there that you can buy low.
Even worth, I'm sure Tony Romo's probably available in most people's waiver wires to come back in a couple weeks.
You're probably right.
Again, assuming he doesn't get hurt, it's always the asterisk there.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question this week from Ryan in Merchantville. Ryan asks, would you trade Brandin Cooks and a Tevin Coleman for DeAndre Hopkins?
I think I would. With the Tevin Coleman situation, with him, with unfortunately that medical condition, and Brandin Cooks, he's off to a decent year, but still, I mean, the Saints throw the ball a lot. DeAndre Hopkins is a monster. He's going to get a lot of catches there. I think I would do the deal.
No, I agree. I do the deal as well. I know I just got done saying 30 seconds ago that Hopkins concerns me, and he does. But I'm looking to sell Tevin Coleman everywhere that I have him. Cooks is good. Not a shot against Cooks. I think he's a great receiver. But they do spread the ball around quite a bit in New Orleans. I think it's definitely an offer that a Hopkins owner, looks at, definitely thinks about. He probably does it. I'd rather have Hopkins personally.
Yeah, like you said, New Orleans, you never know who's studs getting the ball one time or another. With DeAndre Hopkins, he's getting the ball about 70 times a game. That's no question.
Next question comes from Wayne and Sewell. Are any of the Bills receivers worth looking at now that Sammy Watkins is out long term?
No, I think you got to go with Woods now. I think he's the main guy there now. The Bills don't impress me. I mean, Taylor is a good quarterback and all, but I mean, if you're going to talk Bills wide receivers, I think Woods is definitely the man.
Oh, I think if you're going that direction, I don't think anybody else really, stands out to me. He's getting a lot of the targets in Watkins' absence.
Yeah.
I think of that group, I definitely like Woods the best. If he's available on the waiver wire, I think he's worth adding. I wouldn't go crazy trying to make a trade for him, though, if he's out there. If he's available to you, sure, why not? But, other than that, I'd probably stay away from him.
I mean, they've even, exactly. They've even gotten away from the tight end a little bit. So I think Robert Woods is the best out of all of them.
Interesting name in Buffalo, actually. Carlos Williams was just brought back. And with breaking news today that LaShawn McCoy had a bit of a hand injury in practice. Says he's going to play on Sunday. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Holding that ball is going to be a little tough with that hand injury. So.
Local boy Josh in Hamilton asks, what should I do with Spencer Ware now that Jamal Charles is coming back? Is Jamal Charles 100%? It's kind of a similar question we had last week, but last week the question was, who would you start?
Right.
I think from this point, I think that the time to sell Spencer Ware is probably passed. Yeah. I think if you're a guy that has both Charles and Ware, it's plug and play. If Charles is playing, you play Charles. If he's not, you play Ware. As far as him being 100%, Mike,
he's never going to be 100%.
I don't think you really know.
No.
But what says a lot to me is that the Chiefs played him in last week against the Steelers the week before their bye. So if they were concerned that he wasn't really quite ready yet, they'd have given him that week off plus the bye to get him going fully healthy. Again, given the fact and how that schedule's played out that they've played him last week, I think they think he's ready to go. And if that's the case, you got to be starting him.
You got to give him the first week, get the rust off from he's sitting the whole time that he is. Number two, it's a matchup with the Steelers. I mean, that's not a bad defense, and they just took the Chiefs apart. Spencer Ware and Jamal Charles, I think, are the best two handcuffs to have, like you said, to plug and play. Jamal Charles, I hate to say it, and I really wish the guy well, but I don't think he's going to stay healthy again. He could get hurt again, even if it's a game or two. And you got Spencer Ware as a great backup.
Well, I think it makes sense. I mean, if you have Ware, I would try to sell him to the Charles owner or hold on to him as a scratch-off ticket.
Like
Again,
you're not going to be able to get rid of him. He's a backup.
No, but if Charles goes down again, Ware is going to be a top 10 back on a weekly basis, so it's definitely worth holding on to. I got a question from Clark in Philadelphia. Clark asks, Michael Floyd has done absolutely nothing this year. Would you cut him to pick up Pierre Garçon or Robert Woods?
You know, I think I would, only because with Carson Palmer hurt now, and you got Drew Stanton, and yeah, they played okay last night, and they played against the 49ers, for God's sake. The 49ers stink. But in a way of Pierre Garçon and Robert Woods, I'm not a big Taylor fan, so I think I would pick up Pierre Garçon. I mean, Michael Floyd's not doing anything. Those two guys, they got to pick it up the pace. I think I would go with Garçon.
The problem to me is, Michael Floyd was ready for this breakout year. Everybody was talking about the offseason. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
I think the Arizona offense is kind of in flux anyway. Again, Palmer went down, didn't play against the Niners.
And again, Fitzgerald more involved now, too.
Yeah, Floyd caught nothing against the Niners. He's such a killer. Would I drop him? No, I don't think you can drop him because, again, things tend to normalize. And you look at a guy like John Brown. John Brown did nothing the first couple weeks, had a huge game against the Rams, and now he's a guy people want again. So I think the play here is to hold on to Floyd to see if he can work through this. But if you really do want to drop him, as we kind of mentioned previously in the show, I like Robert Woods a little more than Garçon, only because Woods has less guys to worry about taking his targets.
Taylor goes downfield a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Garçon, you worry about Deshaun Jackson, you worry about Jamison Crowder, Jordan Reed, a huge game last week, so they spread the ball out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, from that perspective, I would prefer Woods there in that situation. Question actually just came in during the show from Christian in Philadelphia. Is Kenneth Dixon a viable start this week?
Ooh, he's got nobody else.
That's tough.
I would say no.
I think you got to see. It's kind of that thing where I want to see him on the field first before I make a decision.
Yeah,
I want to see how they're going to use him. I mean, even though he's healthy finally, and he's a guy people are getting excited about in Baltimore, Terrence West had a huge game last week. Mm-hmm. So if you're assuming that they're going to keep him going, I'd rather be a week late than a week early. Yeah. So I want to see Dixon hit the field first.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's a good start, but like you said, I want to see him play first.
Hey, deep leagues. Deep leagues.
Yeah, well, you go in deep leagues. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. Lee in Hamilton, I'm finding it very difficult to make trades in my league. Why does everyone overvalue their top round selections rather than looking at their actual production? I think a lot of people probably can.
Oh yeah, I mean you overvalue them because you want what you drafted them for. I mean you obviously some guys you get drafted high and they fall off and you can't get what you get for them. But it is what it is. You draft the top guy high, you want to get a lot of production. I mean, you want to get a good pick for him.
I think a lot of players that play fantasy football, I mean, you're going to have different levels of expertise, but they really cling to the name more than anything.
Right.
Most people say they're doing a lot of research. They're really not. I mean, they're just looking at a couple rankings online. So people when they get offered a player that they're not as familiar with for a big name, it's not really a warm, fuzzy feeling to want to get rid of that player. So I think it really comes down to who you're dealing with and their level of expertise and how into the game they really are. But when you go to somebody like, for a DeAndre Hopkins or a Todd Gurley, and you're offering them a guy who maybe they saw get drafted in the 8th or 9th round, while that may be a fair deal given the way the production's working out, you don't really want to do that deal. You don't want to give up Todd Gurley for, I don't know, Bilal Powell or something. I'm not going extreme there, but, again, if the production's there, but it's not a big name, you're going to see people kind of...
It's almost like, Andrew Luck. Right now, if you had to trade Andrew Luck, what would you trade him? I mean, you'd love to get a first-round pick for him, but you probably won't. You'd probably get a third pick for him or second pick.
I mean, what could you get for Cam Newton right now?
You probably get a second or third round pick.
Damaged goods, but
a lot of leagues he went top 3. So you're not going to get a first round pick for him right now. You probably get a second or third, if that, maybe a fourth.
Absolutely.
So,
question from Charlie from Castor Avenue. All the guys from Philly want to know. Tell us where they're from.
They just right now.
I'm making a deal to trade Zach Ertz. Will Gary Barnidge suffice the rest of the year, or should I look elsewhere?
Well, if you have other options that can get on the tight end, Gary Barnidge is not the same Gary Barnidge as last year. They're in a mess situation right now, the Browns. I mean, they're at the third string quarterback, Cody Kessler. It's all falling apart there. I don't know if I trust Gary Barnidge anymore. If there's anybody else out there to look at, I would look at him. But it depends on who.
I hope you're getting a good chunk of value for Ertz. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not high on Barnidge at all. I mean, you're right. You look at the Browns' offense. Other than Terrell Pryor, Isaiah Crowell, maybe Duke Johnson if you're in a full PPR league. I just don't think there's anybody on the Browns' offense to really get excited about. Like I said, I don't know who you're getting for Ertz, so I can't really
if you're
talk about that.
If you're struggling for tight end right now, I wouldn't trade Ertz. I mean, just get back to the mix.
I might see if you're going to make the deal, you might want to look elsewhere for a tight end that's available.
Get a hell of a tight end.
Speaking, you know what? Who might come cheap? Hunter Henry out in San Diego, and you never know if Gates is going to play or not. But Rivers has been looking his way lately. Might be a waiver wire pickup. I'd play over Barnidge.
Probably get Jesse James too from Pittsburgh. Guys like that.
Touchdown dependent though. For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a question from John in Atco. Should I trade Jordan Matthews for LeGarrette Blount? I have Antonio Brown, Brandon Marshall, Jarvis Landry, and Stephon Diggs as my other receivers.
I think you're fine at receiver. I wouldn't trade Jordan Matthews for Blount right now because Blount. I mean, what's he doing right now? He's not doing that much.
Here's the thing. I mean, John, the way John's team's put together, I'm gonna make that. He's very set at receiver, no question.
He's definitely set at receiver.
I'm gonna guess he's pretty weak at running back because of the receivers that he listed. Those are all somewhat premium picks, right? So, of those 5 guys, Jordan Matthews is no better than the 4th.
Yeah,
right?
but LeGarrette Blount's not going to get a lot of time because Kevin White's come back, and he's going to be the dog.
Deion Lewis, I think you're referring.
Deion Lewis.
No, I hear what you're saying, and if that's the only deal that you can make, John, I think you can make it. But I think there's probably somebody better that's out there, and my concern is kind of I think what you're saying is that with Brady coming back now, then they're going to pass the ball a lot more. Exactly. Probably look at that short passing into Deion Lewis. It's kind of their version of their running game. I just don't know what Blunt's going to do now in an offense where you actually have a quarterback who's not, Garoppolo or Brissett.
I think he instantly goes to a guy who's going to get maybe 5 or less carries a game.
I think that's the concern.
Yeah, and he's not the starting running back. You're going to trade for a starting running back. Okay, you're not going to get a lot for Jordan Matthews with a starting running back, but still, you're making a trade and get Blount. Okay, you're getting a little depth, but like I said, he might not get a lot of carries.
You could get more. If that's the only deal you can make and you need a running back, I don't think it hurts you.
I would try to get the guy with Blythe Powell from the Jets. I mean, there's a guy who's probably going to get a little more with the forte going on with the rib. I think he's going to get more carries, more goal, and more touchdowns.
Or could you get a guy who hasn't really performed? I mean, there's so many running backs.
Chris Ivory, maybe?
Even
Jacksonville?
It's tough when you get to that tier of running back. Like I said, it's not going to hurt you on production as far as your receivers go. I just think you can get more for a guy like Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to get a starting running back for Jordan Matthews at this point.
Sam in Hamilton asks, what's a fair trade for Rob Gronkowski now that Brady is back?
No, I don't think you're getting Rob Gronkowski. I don't know. You're looking to trade a first-round pick. Maybe it's a hard question to answer because we don't know what he has.
Right.
Would you trade Ezekiel Elliott for Gronkowski?
I think, it's got to make sense for both teams. I'm going to make the assumption that I think he has Gronk, and he might be looking to move him. I think if you've gotten this far, having Gronkowski get you nothing, I don't think you can really trade him. You've gotten through the Brady suspension. Yeah. I just hate to see you move him now, unless you just get bowled over with an offer.
You really have to get a lot for Gronkowski. Yeah, I think he's going to do well.
If you have a viable tight end, and you can get maybe like Le'Veon Bell, maybe shoot for the moon for a David Johnson. I mean, you can get one of those guys, and you're not creating a massive hole at tight end. Sure, that's something worth looking into. Other than that, I think you're better off holding on to him, frankly.
Yeah.
Brian and Epseekin, what's the deal with DeAndre Hopkins this year? Should I trade him? He's killing me. Not DeAndre Hopkins concerned out there.
There's a guy quarterback named Osweiler. That could be hurting him too.
I've heard that rumor.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is a stud. He's going to catch everything you throw at him. But problem is, Osweiler's been overthrowing him a couple of times, and he's not. Hopkins is not 9'7" sometimes to get balls. I think DeAndre Hopkins will be okay. I think Osweiler's starting to settle in a little bit in that offense. I think he'll be okay. I think you'll hold on to Hopkins and just play the season out. I don't think you can get rid of him unless you get some power for him.
And that's the thing is, I think if you go and try to trade him, Brian, you're not going to get a whole lot of value for him. So I never like selling low. I never like to sell low, especially on a guy who with that much talent, a premium player that you use a premium pick on. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to hold on to him and hope that Osweiler figures it out. But if you intend to make a move, let him have a good game first. Let him get some of that swagger back and that that little bit of aura about trading for DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, Hopkins is great. We can go trade for him now. I just think your value is going to be terrible for you to trade him. Right
and you
now.
know what's going to happen. You're going to trade him. He's going to start blowing up, and you're going to kill yourself. So I would hold on to him.
Invariable.
Yeah.
Seth in Hamilton, is Golden Tate ever going to be worth starting?
Well, in this case, I think with Golden Tate, he's not having a good year at all. I mean, compared to last year, he's not doing that much at all. I think you hold on to him. You look at matchups. He's still going to be a viable receiver in that offense. That offense doesn't have a lot of they got Marvin Jones there, and Eric Ebron when he's healthy. But I think you hold on to Golden Tate. I don't know if you start him that much the rest of the year, but I think you hold on to him.
I think he started this week because Eric Ebron's not playing, and I think that Ebron playing as well as he has kind of taken the maybe the jump away from a guy like Golden Tate. To be bluntly honest with you, if I have Golden Tate, if I can sell him, I probably will. Yeah. And I know I don't want to sell him low, but I just don't know if we're going to get anything out of Golden Tate this year.
Detroit still gets behind. They still throw the ball a lot, so it still might be all right to hold on to him for now.
Yeah, I think it's all relative to what you can get for him, frankly. Yeah. I wouldn't mind starting him this week, though. I think that he might see more balls because, again, Ebron's not playing. Yeah. And they might be behind. Scott in Williamstown. With Blaine Gabbert playing horribly, is Colin Kaepernick worth a waiver wire ad?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, Colin Kaepernick's going to be out there for a while. I don't think anybody's going to add him. Blaine Gabbert's been the starter for four or 5 weeks now. I don't think they're going to let Kaepernick anytime soon, even though they're not playing well. And why the hell you pick up a quarterback from the 49ers for crying out loud? I would say no.
I would say if you need a quarterback, sure. But after we saw against the Cardinals, it's clear that they got to do something at quarterback. Blaine Gabbert's just not going to do anything for this team, which Kaepernick's going to be the next man up. Unless you're in a really super deep league or maybe a 2-quarterback league, 14, 16 team, you're going to see better options than Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, we all thought that Chip Kelly might find... We all thought that Chip Kelly might find some value in Kaepernick's ability to run.
Right.
Maybe you see that now if he plays. So, I mean, again, if you have a roster spot and you need a quarterback, it's worth a flyer. What's the worst that can happen? But other than that...
Unless you got a spot to burn, I mean.
Yeah, we actually... another question coming in live to the Sports Box. Man, we appreciate this.
Very nice.
Ron from Hamilton. Is DeMarco Murray a top 5 fantasy running back?
I don't think top 5. I think top 10. The year he's having, though, he's definitely having a good year. DeMarco Murray looked dead and buried in Philadelphia. Now he's in Tennessee and running the ball well. I don't think he's top 5. I think he's top 10.
We talk a lot about buying low and selling high. I don't know that there's a more screaming sell in the league than DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
If you look at, again, they're running the ball, I think, a little more now to kind of just get that offense going, but when you spend a 2nd-round pick in an actual NFL draft for a guy like Derrick Henry, you fully intend to use him. Yeah. Okay? They haven't had the tight end very healthy the whole year, so Mariota's had not a lot of options to throw, especially on the outside. We talked about in the other game that in the other show we did that they don't really have a lot of outside receivers to worry about, so I think they've been running more.
Right.
I think at some point Derrick Henry takes his job. I really believe that, and he's played so well in the preseason, and he's played well when given the opportunity. I think a lot of what Murray's had is a lot of goal line carries, and again they're getting down to the one and just punching it in. Yeah. If I'm me, I'm selling DeMarco Murray. Now, I didn't draft DeMarco Murray anywhere for a reason, but he's playing well above anybody's expectations. Sell DeMarco Murray. Is he top 5? No, I don't think he's top 5.
Well, he's finally getting up in the hole instead of trying to dance down the side. That's what he's having a good year.
As a Cowboys fan, I've seen a lot of DeMarco Murray in my time. He tends to run to the line again instead of running towards daylight.
Right. I
just think at some point he's going to disappoint you. The value is going to be sucked right out of DeMarco Murray. So I would trade him right now, frankly, if I were you, Ron.
Is this the DeMarco Murray show?
I'm
just checking. I'm sorry. We got another question.
Last question here is from Danielle in Hamilton. When will you stop throwing things in my basement?
When will I stop? Okay. You know what my answer is to that? Let me say right. Here's my answer to that. Okay.
How's that? I guess it's not today.
Answer done. Okay. So that's all the time we have for Fan Friday.
Appreciate the question.
That's right. No more questions from Danielle from Hamilton. Thanks for watching for Fan Friday. We love doing this for you. Keep writing in. We'll keep answering for you.
Absolutely. And there's so many ways to get in touch with us with your questions. Again, on Twitter at SportsBox Show. You can email thesportsboxshow@gmail.com. You can comment on our Facebook post when all the videos go up there. And of course, if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can make your comments on the videos. Tell us, if we're meeting what you're looking for. Anything that you want us to touch on the show. We're going to have some NHL previews coming up pretty soon here. Yep. NBA is going to come up pretty soon here. Yep. Baseball playoffs. There's so much going on. This is the time of year to get excited about sports. So we're going to have a lot to talk about in the Sports Box. Make sure you're letting us know what you want to hear.
We got George Cardet coming to talk about the Heat and his son. That should be very interesting. Very interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about Bosch.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Whatever. And anyway, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Get in touch with us on the Twitter feed. You already gave out Twitter feed, so yeah, we're good. So remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. Right here. Thanks for watching, folks. See you.
And we'll keep throwing things again.
Damn right we will.
Keep throwing.
Never stop throwing.
Don't forget to subscribe.